All right. Let's try and do this in one take with no stuttering. May 2015. It was the day where I stopped going to college, didn't have a job, but I did have a capture card. It was around that time when I finally started streaming. I always had this capture card for at least over a year. And I wanted to do it on YouTube, and I couldn't get into video editing like I wanted to. It's too much work, and there's no guarantee you're going to build an audience. There's no immediate feedback, I would say, if you're starting off on YouTube. So you know what? My girlfriend, Bibi Kimichi, wanted to see me play Shadow of the Colossus. It was a game that I played years ago, and I still own my PS2 copy. But at that time, when I streamed it in 2015, I didn't beat it. I didn't beat it till I streamed the game on Twitch. And the rest is history. After just playing that game, I knew streaming and Twitch was the right option just to build an install base, build a community who cares about your passion for these games. This is my favorite hobby, and nothing comes close to it. But with that being said, man, I'm recording this June 17, 2017. E3 just happened a few days ago, and a remake for Shadow of the Colossus was announced. And I'll be adding my reaction to that at the end of the playlist, but this isn't about that. I'll make a separate video talking about that. Maybe as the months go by, we can just spend a good time talking about why we love this game so much. Because to me, Shadow of the Colossus means so many things to me. And the reason I start off explaining my history with it, there's a lot of meaning to it for me. It's the first game I streamed. It was the first time beating that game. And that game, to me, having beaten it 2 years ago, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I still haven't played a game quite like that one. Now, there are some games that evoke some of the same feelings I have with that game, but man, let me tell you, when I saw that trailer at E3 for that remake, man, I knew from second one, when I saw that bridge, when I saw that background, when I saw Blue Point Games, which, by the way, that is how I played the game on stream with the PS3 version. Holy shit, I wasn't ready for how good it was going to look. But we'll talk about that later. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I really, really love this game. And I'm not going to hold you for too long. This is just the introduction video, but it's also just talking about why I love this game. I guess the quick thing I'll say, and maybe I'll ramble on a bit at the end, is that when I say this is the first time I did streaming, I do mean it. This is when I barely even knew what a bitrate was. I don't even know if audio delay was fixed because I was still using the Elgato, if I'm not mistaken. This thing didn't even export in 720p. I think the highest it exported to was 480p because my bit rate was so low, you know? And of course, back then I used a different microphone, so it all just sounds different. It sounds like almost a different era from the way that I stream games now. But I still think, and if you're still watching this video, thank you. But if there's one stream, just please, if you're a new follower, I implore you. I know there's a few problems. You know, one including the quality, but the mic should still sound decent. I did hear back a little bit, but I implore you guys, if you want to see someone freak out over their first experience of beating this game, I implore you to watch those videos. I don't even know how I had the foresight to archive all of it. Granted, it was a bit of a nightmare, which is why it took so long for me to actually organize this playlist, by the way. Because, again, I didn't know what I was doing. So when it comes to Twitch, there's a cool export feature that basically uploads the videos immediately to YouTube. Now, I should have known this was going to happen, but at the time, I was still figuring stuff out. I was still trying to get better at commentary and all that stuff. When you export a video to YouTube, it gives you, I believe, two options. Either to split the entire broadcast to 15-minute chunks, or upload it all in full. Also, apologies if there's any background noise. You can probably hear it a little bit. Oh my god. But, yeah, essentially, what happened is that I picked the export in 15-minute segments. That makes sense, right? You know, it's easier to view and watch. However, now I know I'm never doing that again because it gets muddy. Those are some decently long sessions. I tried doing a Colossus here and there every session. And that basically meant that it would automatically split them up and call them, you know, part 1, part 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, you get the idea. However, what I didn't account for was that it does that every time you pick that option. So anytime you want to export and you do that, you will get a new part 1, a new part 2, and a new part 3. And the exporting is kind of random. So anytime I would go to YouTube to check all the videos, there'd be multiple part 1s, 2s, and 3s, and it would all be out of order. So I literally had to go to the start of the video and the beginning or the ending of the video to basically find out where the heck I was in the game. I had to look up the Colossi list because, again, I've only been in this game once, just to make sure I was on the right track, on the right order of the videos. It took a little bit of effort. It took me a few hours just trying to find them all and connect them, because there's like over 40 parts to this, and it wasn't easy to properly label them and everything. So that's why it took me so long. I still can't believe it's all fully archived for you guys to watch, though, because it's very amateur. Playing through this game, it's very... Well, my setup was very amateur. I mean, not the game. The game is a masterpiece. And I know some people have some problems with that, but again, maybe I'll make a separate video leading up to the anticipation of the remake on PS4, because that thing, I can't wait. But the setup was not great. Like I said, bitrate was kind of low. Either I had a worse connection in the previous house I was in, or I didn't know what I could really get away with, and I undershot it completely. Over maybe one hiccup on the internet, and that just made me stay at the bottom, like super low bitrate. Audio delay might be an issue, although I think it's fine. But yeah, it's my first time playing through the game, and just, I take my time. I take my sweet time with that game. I won't spoil any of the reactions that I had with it, but yeah, aside from a few audio issues, the bitrate isn't the best. I would still implore you guys to check it out. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the game is just, it means the world to me. It's a game that I needed at that time, and I couldn't have picked a better game to start to stream it. This is, I'm choking up just thinking about it. This is where it all began for me. And it's not like I'm, a freaking celebrity on Twitch or anything, but this is the origin. This is my story. Like, after college, the first game I streamed was Shadow of the Colossus, and I still think about this game to this very day. It blows my mind. And I hope I believe that remake is in good hands with Blue Point Games, but we'll just have to wait and see. However, for you guys, just enjoy this experience, because for me, my first time playing through this game, it was amazing. Even looking back on it now, it's still one of my proudest moments of streaming, period. And I will say, please temper your expectations, because it is the first time I played that game, and by that I mean I'm going to take painfully long to figure the solutions or what to do. Because it was kind of vague. I didn't want to get any hints from chat. So you're going to see me suck. In some of these, it might be painful, and with that, I do apologize. But I'll tell you what, and this is the last thing I'll say, is that I'll never forget the first time somebody joined my chat. Not Beebs, of course, she's my girlfriend, but I'll never forget when a random person joined my chat and watched me just play the game because they loved it so much, And thankfully I didn't get spoiled, because sometimes I've had games where I've just been spoiled by the chat and it's been ruined, but this game was so pure, and I'll never forget. It's why even now I still say I could stream anything. As long as one person wants to watch it, that means the world to me. That means that somebody cares. The fact that it was a random person who didn't know me, it was my first time streaming, and they just showed up. One, shows how much they love the game, but it's just crazy to me, because I would never get that type of feedback on YouTube. On YouTube, I would, try my best to edit a video and just throw it out in the ocean. God knows if you're going to get a response, but when you see a person interact in chat, that's all I need. All I need to know is that that person's watching and enjoying me play the game. That's what it's all about to me. But it's also just sharing these fantastic games with you guys, because, man, first time experiences on stream it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing, playing these games that I've heard have massive appeal. And Shadow Colossus was always in my backlog, It was always something I wanted to get to. And more than ever, you're going to see with my stream archives, it's a lot of first-time playthroughs, because it is the best way to just share the passion with other people. A first-time experience is something that I deeply value, and it all comes from this game. This is one of the greatest games ever made. This is still one of the best games I have ever played. But with that, I'll leave you guys to the playthrough. I'm sorry for, talking for almost 15 minutes, but if you did watch it all, I thank you. Just know that it's a little bit amateur with the audio quality and gameplay, but hey, man, it comes from a place of love. I'm making this 2 years in the future from where you're going to start watching this. And just know that now I'm a fan of that game like no other, man. I will go up to bat for that game. It is outright legendary. But I'm going to leave you guys to it. So take care, have a good one, and enjoy my first time streaming, period. My first time beating that game.